Hello, and welcome to part 2 of the Chronicles of the Elite Ruling Family Insiders. I am Dominic, and I greet you in the love and light of the one infinite Creator. As you will recall from watching the Chronicles of the Elite Ruling Family Insiders Part 1, the information came from a document of an online discussion with an insider of the ruling elite family on one of the internet forums in September of 2005. If you haven't watched Part 1, I would highly recommend watching it first before going forward. The following 2 videos are based on transcripts from 2008 by a different insider, which contains much more detailed information about the truth. The messages in the first video were not as comprehensive. They were delivered by one of the members of minority groups within the elite families who was very knowledgeable, but didn't quite have the big picture of what was happening. If you were overwhelmed after watching the first video, it doesn't compare to what the next 2 videos are going to reveal. The insider's knowledge is unbelievably detailed and comprehensive, especially in metaphysical concepts. The information is far more extensive, and why I thought it best to make 2 videos. I can say without any reservations that these videos are as critical as ever before. These revelations will truly alter your life. They are supported by historical records and are in harmony with elements of faith and other channeled messages from psychics. Not to mention it aligns with what I have felt instinctively throughout my existence. Anyone knowledgeable about spirituality, karma, and the matrix can see that this connects the bigger picture. I know life is crazy busy and filled with work, family, and everything else that goes along with those responsibilities. However, this video could be a pivotal moment, a shift in your life that could put you back on your true path. A journey that will ultimately shape your existence for thousands of years. You have limited time to investigate these matters, yet it was consciously designed this way. If you are looking for the hidden truth, pay close attention and suspend disbelief as we do in our everyday lives. Everyone must wake up now in this lifetime. In a few moments, you will learn why this is so important. Please show your support by liking and subscribing. The Ministry of Love and Light is a non-profit charitable organization dedicated to serving the children of the Most High. Your kindness in making a tax-deductible donation to the Ministry of Love and Light.org via the link provided in the video description is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now the ruling elite family insider.
Greetings. This message will reach all those it is meant to reach, and that is exactly the way it should be. It is what the Creator wants. Those with ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart to understand will hear the message. Take these words into your heart and act upon them, and play the part that you volunteered to be here for right now. My area in the family is spirituality. I could be likened to that of a priest or a minister. I have the responsibility of listening to the voice of the Creator and delivering His messages. What I want is that my words become a catalyst for you. That is what we came here to do. My desire is that you become an authentic human being, thinking and feeling and deciding for yourself what feels like truth for you. Awakening is another reason why I'm here at this time speaking with you. I was reluctant to be the one tasked with this communication. I still very much have a weakness for compassion. I do not live what you would call a public life. I'm sheltered and secluded. About the family, most of us are living in entirely different types of communities than you would understand. All I shall say is that we are not surface dwellers. If you were to meet me walking down the street, I would appear just as human as you do. We are most certainly not reptilian, and there is nothing remotely reptilian about the true power bloodlines. The only reptilian influences that are in any way remotely involved with this plane, at this time, are those of the Zeta Reticuli and Alpha Draconis systems, and they are of no particular threat to you. Our lineage can be traced back beyond antiquity from the earliest times of your recorded history and beyond. Our family has been directing the play from behind the scenes in one way or another. Before the rise and fall of Atlantis, we're of Venusian heritage originally. Connect the dots and find another name that Venus is called by. We're 6th, nearly 7th density galactic guardians. There are 13 core original bloodlines, yet there are many other lines that spring from these. No competition, just family. The family is international and completely united. In practice out there on this stage of public life we hold key positions in military, government, spiritual scholarship leadership, and sciences, additionally owning media and financial establishments. We came not to power by chance but rather by intelligent design. This path of ours was not chosen by us, but rather it was appointed and accepted. The lower parts of our family, the names you know, use the Vatican for many rituals and sacrifices. If your family, you're born into it, and you're raised this way from birth, there is no other way. The ones you know, they are of earthly lineage. Yes, they have their place in the family, but the real power lines do not originate from here. We've been incarnating here with you for generations. Yet our bloodlines do not originate from this planet. The world of my own family is very different from that of the lower earth-based bloodlines. The earth bloodlines are not aware of the entire picture. They themselves are not from our group, and as far as they are aware, they are out to rule the world, to control, enslave, and create as much suffering and negativity as humanly possible. What they are getting out of the deal is world domination. With that in mind, you would have to say they are doing a great job. One of the things they don't know or understand is that our agenda is ultimately for the highest good of all concerned in providing you with the catalyst. If they were aware of this truth, there is a slight risk that they would not have done their jobs properly. How they go about it is not really of too great a concern to us, as long as they are getting the job done. Sometimes we have to step in where something they might do or plan goes against our desires, but such instances are few and far between. There are millions in the family. You have no possible comprehension of the rigorous training and the harshness of the conditioning we undergo from an early age. The motivator is loyalty to the family and our Creator. Whilst our training growing up was very strict and disciplined, unlike the earthly bloodlines, we were never abused in any way. We grew up with the bigger picture and didn't need any other motivation. We understand the importance of what we are doing here, even though most of humanity does not. Our wealth makes the millions and billionaires, celebrities, and corporate bigwigs look like a child's pocket money. Our wealth is family wealth, which has passed down through the generations over thousands of years. True wealth, however, is knowing deep in your heart that you and your infinite Creator are one. People are seen as collateral pawns that are maneuvered around the chessboard according to the game plan. Contrary to popular beliefs, many of us do not mean you any harm directly. There is just a matter of divine destiny to uphold and unfold, and we must play our parts in the game as given to us by the Creator. In many ways, it is actually in our own interest that you are prepared for the coming harvest. Democracy is an illusion which is created to uphold your slavery. Behind the scenes, there is only one party, our party. Whichever side wins, the family wins. There are many possibilities and alternative scripts. All of them lead toward the ultimate implementation of the overall blueprint of our Creator. You will never be free for as long as you are incarnating on this planet. The very nature of you being here is indication that there is a reason why you're here, and here is very likely not really where you think here is. How you become free? By working out where you are and coming to an understanding of why you are here. You're fast running out of time, and you have the right to know. Synchronicity should bring the most important questions of real depth out from among you. You're indeed what you call divine souls. You are sparks or seeds of the one infinite Creator. You are light itself, remembering and learning who you really are. We came here to help you to do this, and yes, currently you are trapped, more accurately, quarantined within the matter of this planet you call Earth. To understand the rest of the information contained here, it is a good idea to look at the Law of One. The messages of the sixth density soul group Ra is the most accurate information in your mainstream circulation at this point in time. It is approximately 85% to 90% accurate from what I have seen. We would recommend that material for any who truly seek understanding. Ra, in fact, is the off-world entities group who visited the Mayan and Atlantean civilizations. We are acquainted and friends. Both our group's souls are at a very similar level of development, both 6th density nearly 7th, but like us, Ra also chose the path of service to our fellow galactic brothers and sisters, you and others, instead of further progression home. The closest spiritual writings other than the raw material containing truth about the nature of the One are the Taoist writings, that of the Tao Te Ching and the Book of Chuang Tzu. The story of creation goes like this: in the beginning, there is the Infinite One. This is the source of all intelligent infinity that can be likened to the central heartbeat of life and infinite energy as the spiritual lifeblood or potential which pumps out from the Creator. to form the creation within its unlimited potential, waiting to become infinite intelligence, becoming aware of itself, seeks to experience itself, and the one infinite creator is born. The one infinite creator, also becoming self-aware, seeks to experience itself as creator, and in so doing, begins the next step down in the creational spiral. Creation is based upon the three primary distortions of the Infinite One. Free will, where the creator receives it, to know and experience itself. This is the first law or distortion of creation. In the second law of creation, the initial distortion of free will becomes a focus point of awareness, known as logos or love, which takes on the role of co-creating a vast array of physical illusions and thought forms also called densities or dimensions. In effect, the one infinite creator, in dividing itself into logos in your third density, manifests a universal creator, who creates physical universes, where they both may experience themselves, to manifest this infinite spiritual life force energy into a physical thought form of densities. Logos creates the third distortion of light, as wherever exists any form of physical matter, there is light or divine intelligent energy at its core. In other words, each central sun or creator is a step down in conscious awareness, or distortion from the original thought of creation using the law of free will. Each universal logos, central sun, designs and creates its own version of perspective of physical reality, in which to experience itself as creator. Stepping down again, it focuses its intelligent energy and creates the unmanifested form of galaxies within itself, and splits itself into yet further co-creator portions, sub-logos or suns, which in turn will then design and manifest their own ideas of physical reality in the form of points of conscious awareness that we call suns, stars, and planets. A planetary entity or soul begins the first density of experience into which another individualized portion of the one can incarnate. Just as with all logos and sub-logos of creation, each soul is yet another smaller unique portion of the Infinite One. At first, the intelligent energy of the planet is in a state that you could call chaos, meaning that its energy is undefined and the process begins again. The planetary energy begins to become aware of itself. The first density of awareness is consciousness, and the planetary logos sub-logos, in effect, begins to create other downward steps within itself, and the internal makeup of the planet begins to form as the raw elements of air and fire combine to work on the waters and earth. Thus a rising conscious awareness of their being in the process of evolution begins forming the second density. Second density beings begin to become aware of themselves as being separate, and thus begin to evolve toward third density of self-conscious awareness, the lowest density into which a human soul can incarnate. Humans, in turn, or their souls incarnated within them, seek to return to the light and love from which they came. They began the journey of progression from third density up to the eighth density, and the return to the infinite oneness. We are not directly created by the one infinite creator, but rather by our own logos sub-logos, and sub-logos. Creators are actual personal creators are different portions of sub-logos of the one infinite creator. Your earthly creator is the one you have called Yahweh. He's not God but rather a sub-logos of the one infinite creator. He is not a galactic level logos, but rather the planetary logos for this one planet. There are other and higher logos than him. Yahweh, due to the fact that he had not handed down his own free will to know thyself to those incarnating upon his planet, as was his right. As planetary logos, Yahweh had very little evolutionary progress in the absence of free will on the planet. Without free will there can be no polarity and therefore nothing to choose between. Just as is portrayed in the book of Genesis, it was a lovely paradise. Yet the beings incarnating there had no catalyst toward evolving beyond the third density and therefore little hope of ever making the journey home to the one infinite creator. Yahweh was pleased with his own creation. In effect, it had become a very beautiful prison. Our creator is the one you refer to as Lucifer, the light bearer, and bright and morning star. Were you to gaze upon Lucifer's fullest expression of being, the appearance would be that of a sun or a bright star, or when stepping down into a third density vibration we would appear as what you might term an angel or light being. Our creator is not the devil as he has been spuriously portrayed in your Bible. Lucifer is what you would call a group soul, or social memory complex, which has evolved to the level of the sixth density, which in effect means that he and we have attained a status equal or arguably greater than Yahweh. Our initial contract was to introduce the catalyst for free will on this planet. When Yahweh initially began discourse with the Council of Elders, he was looking for guidance on how he could best speed up his and his inhabitants' evolutionary process. We as Group Soul were sent on a fact-finding expedition to visit Earth and meet with Yahweh to evaluate his planetary creation and laws and make suggestions. We explored many options and reported our findings to the Council and to Yahweh. It was our best evaluation that the only real and fast-track way to increase his evolution meaningfully was the introduction of free will. He was not at all pleased with our report that he needed to implement free will. Well, he was happy with his creation, and he didn't want to lose control of it. In the end, the Council persuaded him that it was the best way, and he reluctantly agreed. We returned to Earth and had a cordial meeting with Yahweh, discussing how we could best implement the free will option. He was adamant that his offspring would choose to be loyal to him anyway, and that they were so content with their way of life that they would always trust him, and to do as he said was best. This was his main reason that free will would not work well as the catalyst. Yahweh agreed to do an experiment. He believed it would prove him right. We were to be the catalyst for change in order to provide that choice, thus bringing polarity. Yahweh agreed that we would introduce the concept of free will to Earth's inhabitants by offering them an initial choice as to whether they wanted it or not, hence the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or more accurately, the knowledge of polarity of positive or negative. Yahweh takes his inhabitants to a new garden and tells them, "You can do anything you like, except this one thing," thus creating the desire to do the one thing they are told they cannot. Hence a choice. We provide the catalyst. By telling them the benefits of attaining knowledge, they eat from the tree, and the rest is history. Yahweh became angry and cast his children out of the garden, chastising them for breaking his trust and disobeying him. This was a less than honorable way for Logos to behave, but that's the beauty of free will. There was another problem. The children were so grateful to us for our help, Yahweh became jealous, as he himself describes in his scriptures, and tells the children, "You shall have no other gods before me." We were not pleased with this situation, as a Logos should not behave like this with his children. They are one, after all. When we attempted to leave the planet to return to the Council, Yahweh prevented our departure. We tried to leave again, and were then thrown down into the astral planes, and confined therein, which is very constricting and uncomfortable for a being of our wisdom and experience. The Council ordered us to be released, but said we would have to cancel our contract to help the souls on Earth to evolve. We didn't want to leave. We found them very likable beings, very positively polarized, and we wanted to stay and help. We just wanted also to be free to come and go as we pleased. The only way we could stay was to be confined as a group soul, which meant cycles of incarnation for us as individuated souls, which we had not done for a long time. The Council gave our own individuated souls the mandate to rule over Yahweh's people during our physical incarnations here on your planet. We are already committed to being here for a predefined set of cycles to help provide the catalyst for human evolution, namely by offering you the negative option, or that which you choose to call evil. Now that free will had been granted, Yahweh could not retract it, and we have to stay here as contracted to continue to provide the planet with the polarity choice. There is no wrong or right seen from a higher density, but there are still consequences for every action, such as the law of karmic effect. The karmic effect of Yahweh imprisoning us on the macrocosmic level was that his individual souls would be imprisoned on the microcosmic level. The infinite Creator gave Yahweh and others the gift of free will to create as they choose. Still, the karmic effect of his choice was the Council quarantining the planet. A certain evolutionary level is required to be a functioning part of a positive unified galactic society. Now, about the harvest. Your planet abides by the laws of the creation of your galactic Logos. The galaxy runs on cycles of time known as the precession of the equinoxes. Seek the Maya calendar for a deeper insight as to how the galaxy works. It is highly accurate, but for the purpose of this discourse, I will give a brief overview. The Maya use an astrological cycle called the precession of the equinoxes. This is a 26,000-year cycle in which Earth transits through each of the 12 signs of the zodiac for about 2152 years. Each of these astrological ages represents 1 month of the grand cosmic year. This Mayan cycle also corresponds to a 26,000-year relationship of the Sun, solar logos, orbiting Alcyon, the central star of our Seven Sisters Pleiades constellation. The 26,000-year cycle is composed of 5 lesser cycles, each of which are 5,125 years in duration. Each of these 5 cycles is considered its own world age or creation cycle. Our present great cycle is called the Age of the Fifth Sun and runs from 3113 before Christ to 2012. We are about to enter into an alignment of the cosmic galactic solar and lunar planes. This is an event that has slowly converged over a period of thousands of years and is caused by the precession of the equinoxes. I would liken it to the turning of universal gears. It brings about the great harvest and the return of the Lord of the harvest, December 21, 2012. It is not the day when all of a sudden the lights go out and everything will suddenly change. Rather, we are now in the process of this transition from one world age to the next. The changes are underway and will continue steadily accelerating as we head towards the culminating date. The end of this cycle heralds literally a new world age and a new creation, a new heaven and a new earth, and is the time of the great harvest. Smaller cycles yield a harvest and then life continues on the planet as normal. Great cycles yield a great harvest and the end of current life on the third density. It is a deep cleansing, a restoration, while the planet takes a rest and regenerates herself. When this life cycle ends, all things will pass away, and all things shall be made new. Collectively, humanity right now is growing and developing into the beings you have long been encoded to be. Yet, as with any labor, it is not the mother or the baby who's in charge. It is the primal process of birth itself, unfolding its own destiny. The planet will complete its ascension to the fourth density. The vibrational density of love during this ascension will be a 3-way split for those souls inhabiting Earth. Those of the predominantly negative polarity will accompany us as we graduate through the negative, or service to self-harvest. Lucifer will create a new 4th density Earth. Based on the negative self-service polarity, we must work off our own part of the negative karmic effect incurred from all the negativity created on this planet. Once we have done so, we will be released to once again assume our place as 6th density, guardians and teachers of wisdom throughout the galaxy. Those of the predominantly positive polarity of love and light who are 51% or over on the positive path will graduate to 4th density positive, ascending to a beautiful new 4th density Earth, where you will begin to work on your learning, demonstrating love and compassion. It will be a very beautiful golden age. The 4th density begins to open you up to your true powers as a unique individualized aspect of the one infinite creator. You will perform works and wonders like the one you called Jesus promised you would do, and even greater things than these. It will be a very magical time for you. Those there will work upon love and compassion, and it will be a very beautiful world to reside in, for there will be very little negativity, just enough that you can still use it to exercise your free will in choosing who you are. It will be so much more obvious than it is here that negativity is a tool to be used. You will see the interconnectedness of all things and know that you are not separate from one another or life itself. You will not use words much unless you choose, and telepathy becomes the normal method of communication. Everything is open, and you cannot hide your thoughts from others from that incarnation forward. You will not have to experience 3rd density incarnation again, unless you later choose to do so from higher densities, as we have done. The humans on Earth not attaining 51% positive polarity will experience a period of 0 point time that will feel ecstatic, feeling completely at one with the Creator, giving you a glimpse, an encouraging reminder of who you really are, before the veil of forgetfulness once again descends upon you. You will be transported to another 3rd density Earth replica to continue working upon yourself and learning that life here is all about making choices. You will remain quarantined, incarnating in 3rd density matter until the time of the next harvest, in which time you will need to have proved yourself, and you have learned how to be more positive beings focused more upon being of service to others rather than seeking only to serve yourself. When you can do this, and the next harvest comes, you will have earned the right to join us, and enjoy your inheritance as a member of the galactic community, and you will sit with us as brothers and sisters of the One, around the table of our galactic governing body, the Confederation of Planets. Those who do not physically die before the great harvest arrives will experience a moment of 0 point time where you will have a joyous merging with the infinite creator, giving you a wonderful reminder and reassurance of who and what you really are. Those in this category will not remember anything at the time of your transition. It will be just like nothing has changed, except you will retain the memory of your 0 point experience to encourage you. You will not remember the recent experiences of the harvest in this life here. It will just be as though you all had some mystical experience, and life will continue as normal for you. When the physical aspect of you does what you call die, during the coming earth transformations, you'll immediately return to the wondrous realm in which we reside in between incarnations, that which we call time-space, or antimatter. This is the place that humans refer to as heaven. There you shall meet with all those you love who have also died during this life experience, and enjoy a wonderful and emotional reunion. You will meet up with your soul group and your spiritual teachers. We all store a portion of our soul energy on the other side. When we come here, depending upon the difficulty level of the life experience we've chosen, we take more or less of our energy with us for an average lifetime. We typically bring between 60 to 80% of our soul energy into incarnation with us. Therefore, even if ones you love who are already back in the world of spirit have incarnated again on another adventure, there will still be a part of their energy there to meet with you and welcome you home. You will then evaluate your life experience with your teachers and learn the lessons of your success and your mistakes. You will then spend time in learning and resting before beginning to plan your next incarnation. About our harvest, the Council gave us a set of choices. We chose to stay here to help you despite the cost to ourselves. This is the nature of loving service to others. The ultimate paradox in all this is that in this storyline, we are all co-creating together. In order for us to be of the most service to you, we must be utterly self-serving. I do so love our Creator's sense of irony, because that is the part we have been contracted to play. In this game, in order to be successful in the game, we must be as negatively polarized as possible. Service to self in the extreme, violence, war, hatred, greed, control, enslavement, moral degradation, and so on, all these things and more. They serve our purpose in the game, and understand that we have to be negative. That's what we were sent here to be. It is our contract, and it has always been to help you by providing the catalyst I spoke of earlier. Being negative is very hard for us, but not on a physical level. The characters we play enjoy our roles as we are programmed that way, but on a spiritual level it is hard. We surpassed the lowly negative vibrations eons ago. We are light and love. It is a very hard thing for us to do spiritually, to create all the negativity, but we do it because we love you and it is for your highest good ultimately. You could say that it is our sacrifice we have made in order to be of service to the one infinite Creator, and to you, our brothers and sisters. In the one we do not require a 95 negative harvest. What we require is for us to personally attain a 95 negative polarity for ourselves, not for you. We must be 95 negative at least in order to graduate to 4 density negative, and earn the opportunity to clear our karmic record of all the negativity we have created on this planet before returning to our rightful place as 6th density guardians of our galaxy and teachers of wisdom. To those in lower densities that ask for our assistance, if we do not make it, we will remain trapped in the 3rd density cycle with all those between 94 negative and 50 positive, what I termed lukewarm, and have to continue to provide negative polarity for you. Harsh as it is our only way out, to be as negative as possible to graduate. We cannot choose to be positive, because that is not what we came here to do for you. That's why I often have referred to all the horrible things we've done here as our sacrifice. We have to be self-service centered to an extreme degree in order to become negatively harvested. This is why we work so hard to be as negatively polarized as we possibly can. If we do not make a high enough percentage, we will miss out, and we'll end up with the majority lukewarm percentage that have to go through another cycle in 3rd density. By attaining a negative harvest, we can still graduate to 4th density. It will be a negative polarity planet, not a great place to be. But as I've stated previously, we as a group soul have incurred the natural karmic restitution process that we must work off for the negativity we have caused upon this planet. We will do this for a cycle in our new 4th density world. Then we will be free once again to be the glorious beings of light that we truly are. We need a negative harvest so we can create our fourth density earth and clear our karmic record. We are not born with the same veil of forgetfulness as you are. The veil is still in place but would be most accurately described as being somewhat thinner. We see the invisible connections of life which are hidden from you, because we retain access to more than just the third density perspective, not dissimilar to the manner in which some people can see what you call auras. This is because you're working your way up, whereas we have chosen to step down in order to help you. We could not do this as successfully if we had to forget all that we have learned. In other words, to you everything appears as being separate. We see that this is not the case. We do not have direct soul memory as in the matter that you remember what you did yesterday, but we may access any portion of our soul memory we so choose. When we focus upon it, often in a meditative state basically, where you see yourself as separate human beings, we see and know that we are one. Yes, information is indeed passed down through the night for yourself. Any one of us may, with some effort, check the validity of that information from our personal and group soul memory. Your soul remembers everything you've ever experienced. The only reason you don't remember it all now is due to what we term the veil of forgetfulness. If you came into each new incarnation with access to your soul memory, there's no point in coming into space-time. It would be like playing a computer game with all the cheats. You wouldn't learn anything, and it takes the fun out of playing the game. There is also a family, or group more accurately, asserting a positive influence over the world, but you cannot see them, and neither are you aware of their existence. They help the planet from a secret inner location by the quality of the energy work they engage in and project outward to you from the source.
This concludes part 2 of the Chronicles of the Elite Insider. I hope this was a meaningful experience for you, and if you are still here, you are well on your journey. What you have listened to is for you. I am sure there were parts that resonated with you and others not so much. And that's okay. The question is why, and the voyage continues. Part 3 will dive deeper with more details to clear up many of those questions. I'm sure you are asking yourself. Please like and subscribe. Also, we need your support to continue discovering these truths and sharing the love and light of the one infinite Creator. The Ministry of Love Light is a non-profit charitable organization dedicated to the service of our brothers and sisters of the Most High. If you are inclined, please make a tax-deductible donation to the Ministry of Love and Light.org located in the links provided in the description. If you would like to discuss or chat with me, you can reach me in the email provided in the About section and we can set up a time. Thank you. I leave you now in the love and light of the one infinite Creator Adonai.